video where we shall be talking about Bharata Muni's Natya Shastra. Bharata Muni, apart from talking about these 8 emotions, also talks about Sthayi Bhavas. The Natya Shastra lists 8 Sthayi Bhavas in correspondence with 8 rasas. What are Sthayi Bhavas? Bhava is derived from the root bhu, bhavati, that is to become, to come into existence. Bharata gives a casual quality to bhava, saying bhavayanti iti bhavaha. That is a thing or mental state that brings its awareness and makes one conscious of it, which pervades one like a particular smell, is what is called as Sthayi Bhava. As according to the 8 or 9 rasas that we have, Shringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhivatsa, Adbhuta, Bhayanaka and Shanta, we have the 8 Sthayi Bhavas accordingly. So Rati or love is the Sthayi Bhava of Shringara Rasa. Hasya or mirth is the Sthayi Bhava of Hasya Rasa. Shoka or sorrow is the Sthayi Bhava of Karunya Rasa. Krodha or anger is the Sthayi Bhava of Raudra Rasa. Utsaha or energy is the Sthayi Bhava of Veera Rasa. Bhaya or terror is the Sthayi Bhava of Bhayanaka Rasa. Jugupsa or disgust is the Sthayi Bhava of Bhivatsa Rasa. Vismaya or astonishment is the Sthayi Bhava of Adbhuta Rasa. Bharata Muni also talks about Vibhava and Anubhava, because in the Rasa Sutra, Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyabhichari Bhava Samyogat Rasa Nishpattihi. So what are these Vibhavas and Anubhavas? Vibhava is the cause or Karana. The main stimulating cause being termed as the Alambana Vibhava, which is the determined. Alambana Vibhavas are always the characters. And the environmental factors that are additional clauses termed as the Uddipana Vibhavas, or the environment or excitant. So you have in Vibhavas, Alambana Vibhava, Uddipana Vibhava. Alambana Vibhavas are characters, Uddipana Vibhavas is the environment. And then you have Anubhavas. Anubhavas is the consequent physical reactions through action, word, or facial expression that follows. Anu is the impact of Vibhava. When a Vibhava does something which is actually the Karana, right, action, automatically you have a reaction through Anubhava. Okay. These Vibhavas, action and reaction, will definitely give you the rasa. So if you look into this, what are the Vibhavas? Vibhavas are the 2 characters, the boy and the girl. What is the Uddipana Vibhava? Uddipana Vibhava is the environment. It's a very beautiful garden. So what is the Anubhava that you get? It is obviously the erotic rasa or the Shringara rasa. Look at this picture. The Alambana Vibhava or the characters is the woman sitting on the horse and raising her sword up. Obviously this is of Jhansi Lakshmi Bai. And Uddipana Vibhava, that is environment, is the war, battlefield. So what is the emotion that is aroused within you? Obviously the Anubhava and the emotion, rasa of Veera, is been observed. Look at this. Observe the Alambana Vibhava, that is characters. Also the Uddipana Vibhava, that is environment. And then you also experience the Anubhava. So it is Bhayanaka and Bhibhatsa, because it is a warfare that is going on. And so many characters are getting killed on the battlefield. Look at this. The Alambana Vibhava, the character is crying. The Uddipana Vibhava is the dark background that you could find. Either it is black or grey or brown or whatever. Obviously, the Anubhava that you get is Karunya, Karuna. The Alambana Vibhavas here are the characters are singing and dancing. Uddipana Vibhava, the environment is a temple or maybe nature. Obviously, the emotion that is aroused is Bhakti Bhava. Yes or no? Then Bharata Muni also talks about Sanchari Bhavas or Vyabhichari Bhavas, because the Sukta says Vibhava, Anubhava and Vyabhichari Bhavas Sanyogat Rasanishpati. What are these Vyabhichari Bhavas? The Sanchari Bhavas or Vyabhichari Bhavas are those that are crossing feelings, which are ancillary to a permanent mood. They are transitory, fleeting emotions based upon the psychological states of the mind. A complete list of 33 Vyabhichari bhavas are given by Bharata Muni in his Natya Shastra. These are the Vyabhichari bhavas that he talks about. Nirveda, Glane, Sanka, Asuya, Mada, Shrama, Dainya, Chinta, Moha, Smriti, Dhriti, Vrida, Kapalata or Chapalata, Harsha, Avega, Jadata, Garva, Vishada, Outsukya, Nidra, Apasmara, Swapna, Prabodha, Amarsa, Avahita, Mati, Ugrata, Vyadhi, Unmada, Marana, Trasa, and Vitraka. These are the small fleeting emotions that Bharatamuni talks about. Along with Vibhava and Anubhava, the Vyabhichari bhavas also add in arousing the appropriate rasa. Bharata also talks about the 8 Sattvika bhavas. They originate from the physical form: Stamba, paralysis; Shveda, sweat; Romance, horripilation; Swarasada, feebleness in the voice; Vepatu, trembling in the voice as well as in the body; Vaivarnya, change of color, especially on the face; Asru, shedding tears; and Pralaya, loss of silence. All these also add, the Sattvika bhavas also add to the Vyabhichari bhavas and the other 2 bhavas in order to produce the rasa. And all these bhavas are to be enacted by the actors through abhinaya. Only then the rasa is expressed out. After these bhavas and rasa, the Natya Shastra gradually introduced abhinaya. Abhinaya is to take audience towards the meaning, action or acting. The actor should be aware of body, voice, makeup, props, gesture, and the postures of acting to enable them to express various temperaments in an appropriate way. After the discussion of the internal preparations, the Natya Shastra introduces the external apparatus of how the they are expressed on the stage, which is typically called as abhinaya. As we stated, Bharata Muni talks about 4 types of abhinaya: Angika, the physical movements or the gestures of the characters; Sattvika, the emotional reaction of the characters; Vachika, the tone modulation, voice and speech and intonation of the characters; and Aharya is the makeup and the costume that the characters wear. All these play a very important role in expressing the actual meaning and thereby evoking the rasa in the mind of the audience. Now he talks about dharmis. Dharmis is rehearsed or practice. The Natya Shastra mentions 2 kinds of dharmis which can be understood at 2 genres: Natya Dharmi, Loka Dharmi. Natya Dharmi is realistic, Loka Dharmi is unrealistic. In fact, this is a universal truth for any art. The art is either realistic or non-realistic. Right? These are the 2 dharmis that we have. Then he talks about the vrittis or style of expression. Bharata Muni classifies the style of expression into 4 types: Bharati, which is pertaining to the goodness of speech; Sattviki, the grand one; Kaisiki, the graceful one; and Arbhati, the energetic or the impetuous one. So there are 4 styles of writing a drama accordingly. He also talks about pravritti, which is the usage of local vogue in order to suit the expression and make it realistic. There are 4 vogues or local languages, local dialects that the writers could take according to Bharatamuni: the Avanti, the Dakshinatya, the Dramagadi, and the Panchala Madhyama. These are the 4 dialects existing in the times of Bharata that the writer could use. Only if the dharmis are done, vrittis is been appropriately used, pravritti is appropriately expressed, then the siddhi or the achievement of rasa is been observed. What is siddhi? Bharata Muni mentions 2 types of siddhi or achievement. One is daiviki or divine, and the other is manushi or human. So daiviki siddhi and manushi siddhi. Literal meaning of daiviki siddhi is divine achievement, and manushi siddhi is human achievement. An actor must be able to understand the difference between divine experience of performance and human experience of performance. This divine or spiritual element is a typical Shastra of Indian thinking. As in India, every art, craft, or achievement is expected to be divine. Whatever is truth should be beautiful, whatever beautiful should be truth. The entire Western aesthetic stops here. That's the reason why John Keats says, beauty is truth and truth is beautiful. But the Indian context extends a bit later, a bit farther. What does it say? Satyam, Sundaram, and Shivam. Whatever Satyam is, truth is, it should be Sundaram, beautiful. And whatever truth and beautiful are, it should be divine. And to be divine is the best type of writing. Bharatamuni also talks about music and dance in his Natya Shastra. He talks about a number of Carnatic musical instruments like these, Hindustani musical instruments like these, and also various dance forms like Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam, Odissi, and Satriya. And accordingly ends his Natya Shastra by telling that Rasa Siddhi and Rasa Anubhava. Rasa Anubhava, how can you bring this rasa into Anubhava? There are 3 steps, as Bharata says in his Natya Shastra. The first is setting the milestone. The second shows the path and explains about the content of theatre. And the third is involvement of body and mind for performance. Several such emotions follow one after the other, one replacing the other, strengthening the Sthayi Bhava at each stage, till finally the Sthayi Bhava is established and there is Rasa Anubhava for the actors as well as for the audience. Accordingly, he gives the Rasa Sutra as Tatra Rasaneva Tava Dadavabhi Vyakhyam Nahi Rasadrate Kaschidhartaha Pravartate Tatra Vibhava Anubhava Vibhichari Bhava Sanyogad Rasa Nishpattihi. So beautifully, Bharata says, how is rasa worthy of being relished? It is explained as just as noble minded persons consumed cooked food seasoned with various kinds of spices, relish the taste of and become excessively delighted, so also sophisticated onlookers or the theatre goers or the so-called Sahridaya Rasika audience relish the Sthayi Bhavas indicated through the gesticulation of the Bhavas through verbal, physical, and temperamental activities and become delighted. Hence, the Natya Rasas are hereby explained so beautifully by Bharatamuni in his Natya Shastra. In conclusion, we can say the combination of spices and herbs give rise to taste, and in the same manner, bhavas and rasas contribute to the mutual development. Though the context here is of the good audience, as Sumanesh Purusha and a Sahridaya Rasika, but reading between the lines is very important for the actor's processes. The entire rasa theory is based on the audience's mindset to relish the poetic experience or actor's ability to convey the emotions and feelings such a way that the steady state of mind emotions gets aroused. And so, according to Bharata, it is the prime duty that the writer presents the experience with definite and particular context of character, time, and place. This is a base for the actor through the experience of a character is an individual's experience, but an actor has to make it universally acceptable. This is the art of an actor. The process is from one to many. Whatever the character experiences, whatever the actor experiences is communicated so perfectly that the entire audience becomes one with it. That's why it is to many. Only then an art can be enjoyed. That is how Bharatamuni in his Natya Shastra perfectly explained what is art and how best it can be enjoyed. Thus, Natya Shastra becomes a wonderful treatise to explain what art is, what is the function of art, how to write art, how to act it, and how to make it from to multiplicity, ekam to anekam. The entire audience becomes one with it, and we fully agree then to Stay Coleridge's words that we willingly suspend ourselves to the disbelief world and become one with it and enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Namaskaram.